electronic devices for the duration of the meeting. Welcome to the August 19th, 2024 Finance and Audit Committee meeting. I'm Councilmember Gil Schussler, and I am the Finance and Audit Committee Chair. The meeting format is hybrid, with a quorum physically present at the HART Administrative Offices, 1201 East 7th Avenue, Florida Conference Room, and the rest of the board members are participating via communication media technology. Please look at your screens of your devices. An image of the flag should be displayed. If you can, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we need roll call?
We can. Committee Member Hartfield. Committee Member King.
Here.
Committee Member Knight.
Here.
Committee Chair Schussler.
Here.
Committee Member Williams.
Here.
You do have a quorum, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll now accept public comment. No one has signed up to speak that I'm aware of. Is there anyone present in the audience for today for public comment? Appearing to be none. This concludes the public input session of the meeting. In your packet, there will be, you have minutes, excuse me, the June.
Vary on month to month. Summer months, we go through a lot more than we normally would. I can tell you that each bus, 2015 and newer, has a total of 4 batteries, and then our vans has 2 batteries each.
Well, not to sound stupid, but do they have any kind of leasing programs like we do with our tires?
There are probably programs available. We did not look into a leasing program.
I'm just curious.
The contractor rate for the battery is actually not that bad compared to what you would pay at the auto parts store.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's all. Thank you. Sorry about that. Any other questions or comments for staff?
Question.
Yes.
Yes. Like to know, like last contract, was it pretty consistent with the numbers, last contract compared to now?
Yes, and ANCO is actually the incumbent.
Okay. Do we have a motion to move this action item forward to the Board of Directors for the 23rd, September 23rd meeting?
So moved.
Then we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, next item is action item 4C. As a write-up, a proposed resolution in your packets to form a recommendation for the HART Board of Directors to authorize the CEO to award a 1-year contract to SHI International Corporation for Microsoft Enterprise Agreement renewal of a not-to-exceed amount of $295,390. Ms. Zeckeflesh, you're again.
This contract award is for a 1-year Microsoft Enterprise Agreement renewal. This contract will provide essential maintenance and service for HART's Microsoft products.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments regarding this? I do have one. Did we get affected by that last snafu from back in July?
Yeah, we did not.
Okay, good. Okay. All right. Seeing no questions, do we have a motion to move this item forward to the full board for the consideration on the 23rd?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion, a second. Any questions on the motion? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Committee action items of presentation. Next on the agenda are more committee action items for review by the committee for recommendation approval to the full board. These action items have presentations accompanying them. 5A, to recommend to the full HART Board of Directors to authorize the CEO to award a 3-year base with a 1-year options contract and a 5-year annual maintenance agreement to Cleaver Devices Limited for the computer-aided dispatch and automatic vehicle location, the CAD AVL, and scheduling intelligent transportation system for fixed route and streetcar in the amount of $6,186,425, plus a contingency of $544,858, $545,858, not to exceed total of $6,731,283. Ms. Eckefors, you are recognized for an overview and to introduce the presentation.
Clever Devices Limited will provide a comprehensive computer-aided dispatch automatic vehicle location, that's CAD AVL, for HART's fixed route and streetcar vehicles. The firm's CAD AVL will provide significant operational and planning scheduling benefits. The automatic vehicle location will identify not only where the bus is at any given time, but where the buses are supposed to be. The system fully supports the implementation of the emergency fixed route service for system-wide events like hurricanes and adjustments to routes or portions of service for a localized event. The CAD AVL system will provide operators with the tools necessary to safely run their buses, as well as to direct two-way communication with central dispatch. That's it.
Chairman,
Yes.
is there a presentation?
Yes.
For this one?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Who's giving that?
I'm actually gonna
All right, cool.
start.
Okay.
So good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Sean McCarthy, HART Chief Operating Officer, co-presenting with Ms. Zickerfoos, Director of Procurement. I have the enviable task of telling you how wonderful CAD AVL is and what it's going to do for us, and Kathy has the less than enviable job of telling you how much it's going to cost. So this procurement represents a generational move forward for HART and its customers, and something that we desperately need and, quite frankly, is long overdue. So first and foremost, what is CAD AVL? And the acronym, as stated, is Computer-Aided Dispatch Automatic Vehicle Locator, and is the GPS-based wireless data communication system which will allow OCC, Operations Control Center, to track vehicles and headways and schedules holistically. It's used at almost every major transit agency, and HART is lagging behind in the industry in this regard. Next, Kathy, please. So what does CAD AVL do for us? It allows vehicles to transmit their location. It eliminates poor coverage areas through better coverage, plays a critical role in headway and schedule reliability, monitors vehicle performance, provides and stores event management information, which allows us to modify schedules, dynamically adjusts schedules and routes in real time, and once again enhances OCC's system-wide command and control. It allows dispatchers to communicate directly with vehicles and manage routes more efficiently than ever before. It also improves situational awareness, incident management, and mobile route supervision, which is something HART relies on. Next, please. Benefits for HART: provides accurate and real-time bus location, and a recent customer survey shows that this is at the top of the list of what customers want. Provides up-to-the-minute digital information to countdown signs, web portals, and mobile apps. Also allows field staff using tablets to better monitor bus conditions in the field. Produces more informed data for demand-based scheduling changes, and dynamically creates detours and service adjustments during emergencies, and allows OCC to react to service disruptions in real time, minimizing and hopefully mitigating adverse impacts on the customer experience. Dispatchers will have greater insight and control over their buses and can quickly assign vehicles to routes dynamically based on any number of predetermined criteria. Next, Kathy. And benefits to HART: more efficient and cost-effective service planning and schedules, improved vehicle maintenance data that can be dynamically sent to requests for maintenance activity, remote monitoring, and ultimately better data. Accurate ridership and fare collection data, customer behavior trend analysis, create real-time dashboards showing what customers are doing, and most importantly, global monitoring of the system through OCC and less reliance on field reporting. The CAD AVL system will bring HART to a whole new technological age and modern business strategy to better serve our customers. We are getting more or less a base package in this initial jump off, but the possibilities for expansion are endless. There are things like you can monitor conformance with the CBA, hours of service, fatigue management, those things of that nature. So this is really a quantum leap in how we're doing our business here at HART. So I'm going to move, Kathy's going to take it from here.
I'm going to talk about the procurement, give a procurement overview. RFP 48665 for the CAD AVL was released on December 1st, 2023. It was posted on HART's website, Demand Star, and Bonfire, and legal ads were also posted in La Gaceta, Tampa Bay Times, and Florida Sentinel. This was a best value procurement, and in compliance with the best practices and FTA Circular 4220.1, best value describes a competitive procurement process in which the recipient reserves the right to select a proposal which represents the best overall value to the agency. Following the technical evaluation, the price is brought alongside the technical proposal scores in order to make the necessary trade-off decisions as to which proposal represents the best overall value. So this screen represents the procurement process. The procurement was released. On April 19th, 10 proposals were received. The proposals were reviewed by procurement to be responsive to the solicitation requirements, and then passed on to an evaluation committee, members comprised of information technology, planning and scheduling, maintenance, and bus operations. Following the technical evaluation, there was one proposal that didn't technically meet the requirements and was eliminated from the process. The committee did a short list of the top 3 proposals, and each of those top 3 proposals came in and provided demonstration to the committee members. Procurement then asked for best and final offers. Following the demonstrations, one proposal was determined to be missing essential elements of HART's requirements and not given further consideration. So the evaluation, the technical evaluation had 100 maximum points. And this screen shows the 4 technical evaluation sections and the points that were available for each of those criterias. And as you'll see, Clever Devices scored higher for each of the evaluation criterias, and they scored highest overall with 93.2 total technical, and Trapeze Software Group was 89.4 total technical. When the best and final offer was requested, Clever Devices price proposal was $7,286,056, and Trapeze Software Group was $6,992,923. These prices included the optional items. Clever Devices proposal included a bus time web, which eliminates the need, bless you, for one bus away, resulting in an annual $53,000 savings. Also, HART currently uses Swiftly for data analysis and streetcar tracking at a cost of $247,000 annually. On-time monitoring and some of the reporting functions can be provided through Clever Devices. The savings are unknown until the CAD AVL system is in operation. Some features of the Clever Device system is greater experience with agencies of HART size. They demonstrated experience with implementing similar systems at Florida agencies, including Pinellas Suncoast Transit Agency, or PSTA, and Jacksonville Transportation Authority, JTA. Clever Devices implemented Flamingo Fares integration in their CAD AVL system at PSTA, and this eliminated the need for the operators to interact with multiple operator interface screens. This feature will be provided to HART at no cost. Clever Device System has superior ability to dynamically schedule and activate an emergency schedule to manage service during scenarios such as hurricanes and adjustments to routes or portions of service for a localized event. To go on, Clever Devices, business intelligence, and reporting tools were deemed by the evaluation committee to be superior to other options available. The CAD AVL system proposed is designed to grow with HART's needs, making it suitable for both current operations and future expansions. And its advanced security features ensure that HART's data and operations are protected against potential threats. The intuitive design ensures that all team members can easily navigate and use the system, reducing the learning curve and improving productivity. Clever Devices offers real-time data in a consistent manner through their system through bus time web. So then we negotiated with Clever Devices, who was found to be the top offer. And their pricing, the system implementation for fixed route was settled at $5,382,700. Streetcar is $369,648. Both of those are the base price for the system. Spares is $236,672. The bus time web is $31,161. Also, too, in our specifications, we specified for a Cisco router. We received several proposals for the Cradle Point router, and it was proposed with the Clever Devices system, and HART tested the router, and it was approved for implementation. So that resulted in a $571,605 savings, a reduction from the base price. And then the 5-year warranty and support is $737,845. And a 10% contingency comes to the action item and resolution asking amount of $6,731,283. So we're asking for recommendation for approval to Clever Devices at a total cost of $6,731,283. The financial impact for funding for the system implementation is allocated in the fiscal year 25 capital projects Federal Highway Administration FL 5307S 2019 and FL 5307S 2023. Future years' funding for maintenance is contingent on the annual appropriation for this expenditure. And the next steps is approval from the board for final contract award. In the packet, item 5A is to recommend the HART Board of Directors to authorize the Chief Executive Officer to award a 3-year base with 2 one-year options contract and 5-year annual maintenance agreement to Clever Devices for the computer-aided dispatch automatic vehicle location and scheduling intelligence transportation system for a fixed route and streetcar in the amount of $6,186,425 plus a contingency of $544,858 for a total not to exceed $6,731,283. And we can take your questions.
Yes, thanks for the presentation. The system, and they're gonna install it and everything, have ownership of it. I don't understand the part of the warranty. $700,000 for something that they need to control, and you got a certain amount of years on it, and you still gotta come with a $700,000+ warranty.
Right.
I'd like to know more on that. Usually, when they have a system, or wherever you get it from in the past in other arenas, that's part of it, that, you know, if it go down or whatever, that they repair, not charge an additional for
Yeah,
something
so
that
let me
should be
share,
covered.
I'll share what the warranty includes. It's 24/7 maintenance and support. For the hardware, it applies to the Clever hardware, repair or replace for the hardware that needs to be replaced, returned, and replaced, or repaired. The software applies to onboard and fixed, and software provided by Clever. It includes updates for bug fixes and patches. So it does provide the maintenance for the ongoing service.
So instead of warranty, it's really support and maintenance.
Yes.
Director Williams?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I'm going back to page 13, and if I understand this correctly, the 5-year warranty is what Director Knight asked about, and that is the $737,000. Is that correct?
Let me get to 13.
On page 13,
Yeah.
737,845.
There we are. Yes, the 5-year warranty and support is $737,845.
Okay, and then the request for the awarded three-year base with 2-year options contract, is the 3-year base the $6 million?
No, that's the complete system.
Okay, so the request is the $6.7 million that includes the 5-year warranty. If you could explain to me what the 3-year base includes and the
Yeah.
2-year
It's,
options?
yeah, actually, it was solicited as a 3-year base, but it should have been one system with 5-year warranty period. So the 3-year base, it's a contract for a system. So there shouldn't have been base and options.
Okay, so to clarify, you're asking, the request is for $6.7 million, which includes the 3-year base and the 2-year option?
Mhm.
And the 5-year warranty. So all of the 3-year base, 2-year option, and the warranty is the 6.7 million.
That's correct.
Okay, so just the recommendation is, this is going to take care of the next 5 years.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so we just have to change the wording on the request. I think the recommendation for 3-year base with 2 one-year options and a 5-year annual maintenance agreement.
Yes, so the resolution is written for everything, the system plus the maintenance.
I think the point is that it's not a 3-year option, or it's 2 options, it's a 5-year, take it or leave it,
Okay, we can change that to 5, to,
just to clarify that.
Okay, thank you. And my last question is centered on, is this our system? Did they build this for HART, or will they always own this system and we have to lease it from them?
no, this is for HART to procure the system. And then as funding is available, there's a lot of different, I don't know if modules are the right word, but you can do the garage management where we know where the vehicles are parked. There's a lot of additional features, but we're not doing that. We're just doing the base system that provides all of this information at this point.
Okay, so this system will belong to HART,
Correct.
designed by whom? Right, and then as we need upgrades, we will go back to Clever.
Clever.
And
Yes.
they will build the upgrades based on enhancements that are needed?
Right,
Correct.
Okay,
as funding's available.
thank you very much. I think I got it.
Right, and just to kind of piggyback on that, as I said earlier, we're getting the base package, but the, funding provided, our goal is to expand and, as hopefully our service area expands in the future, this platform will expand as well. But I just wanted to kind of answer a little bit more directly your question, Director Knight, about the warranty. I think one thing to keep in mind is that this technology is new for HART. And to be frank, we do not have the in-house capability to manage, currently a system of this size. Our goal over the course of several years will be to develop, more in-house expertise, so our reliance on Clever for maintenance and things of that nature will decrease. But as we're currently constructed, we do need that support.
Okay. And also, I'd like to know, so when you say streetcars and spares, how many streetcars you're talking about, what the number on the streetcars and the spare? Because I understand like the spare is like 1/3 of the cost of what it would cost for streetcars, but how many streetcars is it covering?
All 9 streetcars will be equipped with the system, and then the spares are spare equipment. It's not relative just to the streetcar equipment, it's for the overall system spares.
You say online, but how many online, how many cars is, streetcars are for online? The number,
9.
like to know, 9?
Right.
Plus all the buses,
Okay.
and all the powertrains also.
No,
No?
not this time.
What's being covered?
Fixed route and streetcar.
Right.
And total.
140 estimate this price is based on 140 fixed route buses and 9 streetcars.
How much more would it be to do the powertrains?
I think and that's a solicitation that we'll do separately. I think the needs of the para is slightly different, doesn't exactly fit into this mold.
Director, Knight, you have anything else?
Well, because when you're talking on base, compared to all the other things that can or may, then that number, you can go within a few months. If things not right, then you start adding things, then where you go from there. I just don't think that, right, enough information and things that we can look at to make a decision like this to go on to the full board. When it just seems like there's a lot of unknown and just not a lot out there. I like to see numbers. I like to see information, then to make it a decision. I think that need to be a little bit more work.
We do have the consultants that worked along hand in hand with HART throughout the developing the solicitations or the requirements in the solicitation process. I don't know if they can provide additional information to you. Would you like to?
I would
to
love
speak
to have
with them?
more
Okay.
information.
We have Nahit and we have Don.
Hey, Kathy, this is Don Murphy with Arcadis or AIBI. I guess it depends on what information you guys are trying to get at. This is, I think, as was summarized, this is a very common current system implementation for transit agencies and fleets. Clever is one of the leaders in the industry currently. It's a core system for enabling the tracking of the vehicles, the operations and dispatch of the vehicles, the monitoring of them in relation to their schedule, providing information to your external systems that go to customers. It includes a pretty extensive set of specialized equipment that is deployed on the bus. I think you guys were talking earlier about batteries and how, the environment can be tough on batteries. It's similar with any onboard computing equipment. So this equipment is specifically designed to last an extensive period in a rather rough transit environment. Personally, I've been involved in about 30 of these deployments over a number of years, and the state of the art has evolved over time. There's also a safety feature where the tracking the vehicles obviously allows the operators to notify in an emergency, and operations control center gets that information. It also integrates with your voice communication system to better manage your voice communications. It's a very multifaceted system. Basically, you can think of it as kind of your operations tool for everything that you basically do in your day-to-day transit operations, and as it relates to the vehicle fleet. It also provides a lot of the information that your planners need for scheduling purposes. For example, if buses are having difficulty maintaining a certain on-time performance along a certain portion of the service, that can be reviewed in terms of the boardings. It can be looked at in terms of the on-time performance, and then they can make adjustments that would better reflect what is possible out there. So the state of the art has advanced in recent years. Before, with the older systems, it wasn't uncommon to update vehicle locations every couple minutes. With newer systems such as this, the vehicle location updates are happening every few seconds, which gives a lot better information about the actual position of the bus, its relation to schedule adherence. It also, as a system, allows the information that gets input to track events, incidents, things that impact operations. Let's say a bus has an operator reports a mechanical challenge with the bus. There's a response to that, and then that gets followed up so that HART can basically track what response occurred, what activities were taken. Yeah, that can be run through as summaries and basically looking at operations overall. So it's a foundational operational tool. It's very common in agencies across, actually globally, but particularly across North America.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I mean, the cost, that implementation cost, it includes a mix of things. It includes hardware that's installed across the buses. It includes some hardware that's installed across the garage or integration with existing wireless hardware. And then also both hardware and a lot of it is software installed centrally so that the dispatchers in the OCC can talk in real time to operators in the buses. So that single number there obviously represents a summation of a number of different items, including hardware, software, and services to implement and configure the system.
Thank you for your presentation. I have a couple of questions, though. The current system we're presently using, what is it?
So it's a combination of a number of different systems. So we use a system called Swiftly to predict next time arrivals for things like One Bus Away, which is the primary kind of app that our users use in the field. In the control center itself, we use a system called OrbCAD, which is a very rudimentary kind of scheduling and dispatcher system, provides bus locations, but far less advanced than this.
So this would,
This would replace those
consolidate all
systems
that.
in whole, yes,
Yeah.
correct.
And what are we currently paying for what we have now?
Justin's going to help me out here.
Our IT director stepped away. He could probably recite those. I apologize. I went to look for him.
Oh, that's okay.
but-
We can wait for that.
But the current Swiftly and One Bus Away applications total about $320,000 a year. But what this system really does, and I'm sorry, Justin Willits, Director of Planning and Scheduling. I was the internal project sponsor, so I'm kind of the official cat herder for this whole effort. What this system does is it allows us to consolidate a lot of overlapping interdependent systems based on the OrbCAD original rollout of 2007. We've been layering on more modern technology here and there, and this really gives us a chance to reset with one system and move forward and really clean up the operation from the operations division to the planning side to the maintenance division. And we really, really feel strongly that this package has come together nicely. We've done the best we could to reduce the approval costs to get that base package, but leave options open for advancement in the coming years. And this is also, as a reminder, packaged with the radio improvement. Our radio is at its end of life. So we really do not want to delay this process at all because it's very critical that we simultaneously upgrade our OrbCAD and the radio system so that we don't start having operations failures of the radio. So I just wanted to bring that all together from every side of the house, that it's really critical. We've done a lot of great work. I've been very happy with the team that did the evaluation. The negotiations team has done a great job working with the vendor. So I really feel like we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's. And if there are any clarifications and briefings that need to be done before the board does consider this, I'm happy to entertain that as well.
All right. Can it handle the paratransit vehicles or?
So that is a great question. That was the first question I asked when I started on this endeavor. But it is fundamentally a different software for paratransit because that is basically an on-demand service. So that is why those are separate solicitations.
So the answer is no.
Correct.
Okay. And how does this system or this proposed system compare with any of the other vendors that submitted proposals?
They were fairly comparable, but the one thing that was different was that the other vendors that scored in the top three, some of them required other complementary systems, which is a lot similar to what we have with overlapping interconnected things that rely on another. So some of those savings that we've articulated through Swiftly and One Bus Away aren't as available from all of the vendors. So we have more of an ability to have a one-stop shop with the one that is moving forward with Clever. Some of the other ones required other systems complementing it and would increase costs over time. So that's why we felt so strongly that this was the best value.
All right, so this system is scalable for our future needs for, what, 5, 10 years into the future, or how long?
Well, when you make these commitments, much like the OrbCAD in 2007, it's a commitment you're prepared to live with for 10 to 20 years, potentially. And we feel like we're in a good position to utilize this moving forward, given their track record throughout the industry.
So this is really a cost-plus contract. In other words, we're going to pay X amount today, but as the system grows and as we add to it, it's going to be like an à la carte menu that, if you, for the extra things that you order, you're going to pay more.
Yeah, for the optional tasks would be like an à la carte menu moving forward. But for the base package, to get us where we need to be immediately, this is the none of the bells and whistles, just the core components that we need to modernize the system.
Well, let's say over the next 5 years, how much more are we going to have to pay in order to add these other systems?
It depends on which modules we plan to acquire that are optional now. I know one of the primary ones is the yard management system. And without getting into the details, the best thing about that system is that it's going to electronically transmit data on the vehicle health to help us avoid breakdowns on the street, as well as actively manage the yard, so it requires less human resources and it's more digitally focused. So that is one of the components we would consider probably in the short
Can you
term.
ballpark it in terms of current dollars?
I would hate to speculate on, the few components. I think per module is probably around a $60,000 to $100,000 per module, but there's wide variation in that. So I could happily come back to you with that information on the optional list.
And what are we going to have to do for the paratransit vehicles?
So that is so that fleet size is around 50 per day, so I think 70 total vehicles. But we would initiate a similar RFP. That cost was not on the scale of a CAD AVL like this. It would be.
Well, in terms of the type of system we would need, what are we looking at there?
Can you ask the question again? I apologize.
In terms of the type of system, in other words, if the CAD AVL won't work for this, what will?
Well, there's different vendors that will come back to perform that type of real, on-demand service. It's just a fundamentally different structure because of a planned route on a schedule versus it's basically like an Uber and Lyft type application for paratransit.
All right. I noticed from the presentation, it looked like PSTA is using it and JTA are both using it in some variation?
Yeah, and Miami-Dade as well.
Okay. Outside of Florida, anyone else that you know?
Yes, there's a extensive list on the website. I don't have it handy, but.
Okay, so it's not like a one-off product that.
Correct.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just wanting to maybe get a better understanding of the success indicators, or at least all of the replacements. For example, we're spending $6.7 million, and operational efficiency probably will be gained as a result of this initiative. And I think that we may need to understand the impact or the positive trend or positive impact of this initiative in order to understand the request or the value we will receive as a result of that. And I think that is what we are going to need in order to determine if this is the best value for us. I think spending $300,000 in comparison to $6.7 million, it sounds like a humongous leap from one system to the other. But I do understand when you have bus drivers and you want to make the largest impact, that is where you're going to get your biggest return on investment. And so if you could come back to us, or maybe I make a recommendation, Chair, to share with us the systems that have been overlaid from one another over the years in order to get to this point. I think there's going to be, we should be able to see the value. And then also working with, if Clever is a group you're going to utilize, they do have success indicators of how much we're spending and what do we plan to get back as a result of that. Because this, in essence, this system should pay for itself in in return. And if you look at 3-year base, 1-year base, how many years do we pay for this and then get the return that we're looking for? So I just would like to see that information, and I think that we could probably understand the request a little bit more. And so that's my position on this request at this time. Thank you.
Yes, and along the same line, when we make the decision, and such as probably there's a near needed option, we should know, or maybe it's negotiated, how much it would cost, instead of just out there, and if you don't know, when we get locked into something, we got a 3-year, 2-year, 1-year basis. But we know we have that, but we don't know what the cost. If we get into this, can we?
This has already gone through the procurement process with the internal procurement process.
Share your mic.
Sorry, I'm about to get yelled at. Keep in mind, this has already gone through our internal procurement process through the system where they took the contracts, they evaluated the proposals, and the proposals were evaluated, and then negotiations going back and forth. I'm assuming that's correct. Okay.
That is correct.
Okay, so, we have to, we have to be cognizant of that. We're not here to micromanage the internal procurement process. We're here to take their recommendation, evaluate it. If we
Yeah.
need additional information, then we can request additional information. To your point with the return on investment, I think that's a very valid request, and I think that we need that in order to go forward with that. I know this CAD project has been bubbling around for years now. How much of this was related to that safety issue we had with that's why I was surprised the paratransit not involved, with that paratransit bus that was hijacked several years ago? And we found we had a radio system that we couldn't track it for several hours, if I remember correctly? Or am I losing my mind on that one? Because this is something I know has been bubbling around for almost as long as I've been on the board. Is there a relationship to that, or is?
If I can chime in.
Yeah.
We didn't lose, it wasn't that long, but the communication between HART and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, generally, when there's a call for an emergency, it's a static location.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a vehicle that's moving, so that changes the dynamics of it. But there wasn't that much time elapsed.
Well, okay.
But yes, this is all part of, when we procure the one for the paratransit, that would also have an impact on that as well.
Okay, that's why I asked, because I assumed that would be lumped in with this. Okay, so what can we do with this? First of all, this would not be a consent agenda item, I would assume. This would have to be a full presentation to the board. Okay, all right. I want to make that clear as far as that. One other minor point on the Cradle Point router. Do we have that? Or we need to, is that going to be an additional procurement on top of that for the $570,000?
No, that's in the pricing for the router.
Okay, so they're going to supply they're going to
Yes.
supply a router, so okay. All right,
Correct.
sounds good. All right. What's the pleasure of the committee? We do not have a September meeting planned. Do we need to pull one together so that we can make that final recommendation to the board? Can we do that?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How time-sensitive is this?
I get the impression it's relatively critical,
Okay.
given the nature of what we've got and the effort to move it forward. I'm not sure, I don't want it to go, let me rephrase, let me start over. If we have to wait till the October Finance Committee meeting, and then it wouldn't go to the October, that we go to the November board meeting, and then we're kicking the can 60, 80, 90 days down the road. And I'm not sure what would happen with this contract or with this proposal.
I show we have a September meeting, September 23rd.
But that's a board meeting, and that's what we want to have. If this committee wants to
I see.
review this before it goes to the full board, you're looking November potentially before it would come before the board. And I don't know that we want to do that, so we want to meet in September, I'm okay with that.
Well, what are the prospects that the board's going to take a look at it and basically, kick it back for the same reasons that we have questions over it?
We can't, well, I mean, we could reject it and it would go to the board anyway, but I mean, if, the purpose of our committee is to review these things, vet it, and push it forward, and the board is relying upon us to having done our due diligence on the issues, so that when they get our recommendation, Lena's coming. What'd I do?
Nothing, Chair Schuessler. Thank you so much. So we could potentially schedule another committee meeting on September 9th after the budget hearing. That will give you opportunity both for staff to prepare responses to the questions and to work with consultants and with the vendor, and for you to receive those responses and to review this item again, among other items, if they come up.
Is everybody going to be here for the night? Everybody will be here for the public hearing? It'll be the evening, it'll be a nighttime meeting, so just, if that is a logistical issue, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm in favor of doing that. I mean, there's some questions that we have, and in our position of advising the full board, we need to make sure that we're on the same page with this.
I'd be here.
Okay. All right, let's plan on doing that then, so that we'll just, yes, sir.
I'd just like to say one other thing, just for the board's the committee's consideration. In terms of ROI or KPIs, it's very difficult to kind of do that absent the system actually being in place here. But there are a lot of things relative to maintenance activities that we have rooms full and boxes of paper that will now be eliminated by virtue of the system. Better schedules theoretically means happier employees, better morale, better things that we're seeing out on the street amongst our customer base. So I just want to make that known that there are things that are difficult to quantify today, absent the system actually being utilized.
Sure, there's intangibles. I mean, with our ride along on Friday, Justin was, glued to his phone trying to see where we were we running late, were we ahead, and this information will be like that, as opposed to having to wait any considerable time period. Ms. Kirk?
Yes, to the chair and to the committee and to Mr. McCarthy. I have had a conversation with our CEO about the possibility of a board meeting on the 9th, and understanding that the public hearing is at 5:30. You could schedule a committee meeting before or after that public hearing. So he'll probably be in conversation with you about the meeting if you choose to have one on the 9th.
I think we should, unless, I really don't want something of this magnitude going to the full board, because if we reject it, it goes to the board anyway, and the board still has to consider it. So if we can squeeze one more meeting in to where we're comfortable with it, we've vetted it as best we can, then we can make a recommendation to the board, to the full board, and we've done our job. So we can do, if everybody's available on the 9th, I'd prefer after, because the public hearing will be quick. If that's the only agenda item, we'll be done that by 6, and we'll be able to meet at 6 and be, moving along pretty quickly, rather than try and get here at 5 o'clock traffic. So.
Yeah, I'm aligned. I just want to just clarify. I think we were spending $6.7 million. We need to have some data. So I just want to be clear on that. Data, if we don't have data, then we probably don't need to have the meeting. So I'm just.
Well, what kind of information we're going to have? Staff, you can pull together what, at least, okay, we're going to be here anyway, so we'll already be hostage anyway. Director Knight.
And again, not trying to micromanagement, procurement, or anything like that. What I'm saying, base is a base. Options that may be used from the HART. I don't care if it's maintenance or wherever, it should have a number on it, on the cost. If you don't know the cost and you ask and you say, well, this here could be 300,000, could be $1 million or whatever, at least we know what the option is and get it locked in. That's part of negotiation. If we add those, we already know what the options is and the cost. So that's all I'm saying is, it would be nice, along with some stuff, in black and white, with the different options on cost. So if it's added, then you know that it ain't gonna go like 8 million, 9 million, you don't know. But you need it, and you're locked in, so when we just take it there, along with the presentation, everything is there. Thank you.
Mr. Willetts?
Yeah, just wanted to clarify for the base package, the options would be coming back to the board for approval on an annual basis. So there's no options that we would entertain initiating without board approval. It's just the base package, but we can describe what those options are currently priced at for the purposes of your inquiry.
Just so it's recognized, well, you guys know what you need to put, I think you've gauged the sentiment of the committee of what you need to put together for the next presentation. And we'll do that for the 9th, preferably after the public hearing. Okay, everybody in agreement on that? Okay, cool. All right, good deal. Let's move forward then. Do we need to take action on this, or just, do we need to defer it? Jan, do we need to have a motion to defer? To table? Okay, so entertain a motion to table the item 5A to the next committee meeting, which will be scheduled for September 9th.
Second.
We have motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Appearing to be none. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nay. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you very much. So we'll bring that up on the meeting on the 9th. And the presentation was good. We just need to add some more information to it. Very good. Thank you. Final action item for the meeting is item 5B, to form a recommendation to the HART Board of Directors authorizing the CEO to extend managed services agreement with INIT for renewal period 3 and renewal period 4 through September 30th, 2026, and to provide system operation and managed services for the Flamingo Fairs program for a total not to exceed of $2,460,000. In addition to the right of proposed resolutions, there's a presentation by Ms. Laura Izzo, Director of Financial Operations. And Ms. Kirk, you are recognized to provide an overview of the item and introduce a presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, and to the chair, committee meetings, and Mr. McCarthy. HART is currently under contract with INIT, or Innovations in Transit Incorporated, for the implementation of the Regional Electronic Fare Collection System, better known as the Flamingo Fare System. The current renewal period for third-party hosting services and warranty maintenance services expires on September 30th, 2024. It has been determined that it is critical to the project's success that the post-implementation contract services be continued to provide operation support and warranty maintenance service. And the presentation that Ms. Izzo has given will explain the project. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair Schisler and members of the Finance Committee. Today, we will be talking about Flamingo Fairs Managed Service Agreement with INIT. The agenda is, we'll first go over the benefits of Flamingo Fairs, Flamingo Fairs media allocation, the breakdown of the usage by smartphone versus physical fare cards, Flamingo Fairs project update, the Flamingo Fairs rides per route for fiscal year '24, the current adoption rates, and the budget impact and allocation of shared services, and then wrapping it up with the marketing plan. This is the benefits of Flamingo Fair. We have fare capping, which is pay as you go, pay the lowest fare. They won't pay more than $4 a day or $65 a month. One way to pay for Tampa Bay. This is a one-card app for all the regions, Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Sarasota, and Hernando. The regular rate is $2 one way, $4 max, $65 a month, and then the discount is $1, $2 for the day, or $32.50 for the month. The money stays on the account, even if they've lost their card or their phone, so they have balance protection. Online or in-store account access, and durable long-term plastic smart card. This also enables faster boarding by the contactless tap or scan to ride. They don't have to carry the exact change, and they can buy in advance instead of on board. This is our methodology for Flamingo Fares. Excuse me, I had some dental work, so I'm a little slurring. Flamingo Fares payments. We have the Flamingo app, which is the smartphone application. They can do this by a free download or Google Play or Apple. They have the open payment, the NFC debit or credit card, Apple Pay, Samsung, or Google Pay. And then we have the Flamingo card, which is a plastic smart card that's currently available at our customer service centers. It's a one-time $3 cost for new and replacement cards. And this is also available for students and veterans. This is the allocation of the Flamingo Fares. This slide shows the usage of the prior slide. We have 18% with open payments, 20% with mobile app, and 61% with Flamingo card. Year over year, the trend from last year is that the open payment has gone down, mobile app has stayed the same, and Flamingo Fares went slightly down. What is not coming up here? Oh, okay. So this is just an update from inception. We publicly launched this on January 2021. More than 20,000 mobile Flamingo cards have been provisioned to smartphones. 20 out of 35 institutional customers have converted to Flamingo. More than 100,000 Flamingo Fare cards have been issued. More than 15 million rides on Flamingo. And we have an ongoing extensive marketing and outreach campaign, which was initiated back in 2021 and which we are still conducting. This is our rides per route, and you can see where we have the majority of the Flamingo Fares usage. Route 1 is Florida Avenue. Route 6 is 56th Street. Route 400 is Nebraska Avenue. 34 is Hillsborough Avenue. 45 is the University area / West Shore. Route 12 is 22nd Street. And Route 39 is Bush Boulevard. This is our adoption rate, and what these bar graphs are showing you is month by month of our total rides, what is the how many of those total rides are Flamingo Fares. Flamingo Fares is in pink, and total rides is in blue. So you can see we're roughly staying around 14 to 15%. However, starting in March, April, it went from 16 to 18, May, June, and July, we're getting up closer to 20. The budget impact of the allocation of the shared service is, in it being the biggest part of our shared service with our partners, is the operation and maintenance costs are outlined in the original MSA. However, there are variable costs that are based on usage every year. It's slightly variable costs. Procurement negotiates annually within it to reevaluate all costs. And the total 2024 budget for in it is $1.14 million. Per the MOU with our partners, currently we only have Pinellas, but Pasco and Citrus are thinking of coming back on. Per the MOU with our partners, the charge out to our partners for shared services is based on taps. This way, everybody is allocated proportionally their share of the expenses based on their usage. The MOU remains in effect until such time that a partner opts out or until the MOU is revised. Shared costs are allocated to our partners based on actual monthly taps and billed to them on a monthly basis, just like we collect all the revenue and we, on a monthly basis, send them their share of revenue. And as of August 2024 billing, the total year-to-date INIT cost was $986,000, of which 68%, or $669,000, was charged out to Pinellas. These are our bullet points on our Flamingo Fairs marketing. The elimination of the paper fare cards, i.e. the magnetic cards, and the full transition to Flamingo Fairs is going to happen on January 2nd, 2025. We've started an extensive marketing and community outreach campaign kicking off in August. HART Street Team, all HART Transit Transfer Centers, HART Transit Advertising, Shelter Ads, Exterior Interior Vehicle Advertising, Onboard Audio Ads, and HART Facility Advertising and Customer Service. Radio Digital Streaming, iHeartMedia and WUSF, and digital advertising, the landing banner at that website, web banners, social media, email blasts. In addition, we're continuing transition of the HART products to Flamingo Fairs, i.e. the HART Youth Pass, promotion with HCPS on the Youth Pass, 50% off for all ages 5 to 18, and that's only available on Flamingo. And with our corporate accounts, we're working with corporate institutional accounts to transition to Flamingo and the launch of a single-use paper Flamingo card. Our Flamingo card is going to be manufactured by the same vendor as EDM. And I just wanted to also point out that the Flamingo cards are 37 cents compared to 80 cents for the magnetic card. So it's representing a considerable amount of savings, just over 50%. And we will also get even more of a reduction with the increase in volume. And then we come to our committee action item that we recommend the HART Board of Directors authorize the Chief Executive Officer to extend the managed services agreement with INIT for renewal period 3 and renewal period 4 through September 30th, 2026, and to provide system operation and managed services for the Flamingo Fairs program for a total not to exceed amount of $2.460 million. Any questions?
Thank you so much for your presentation. So INIT represents Flamingo cards for us?
Yes,
They perform all of the work for us?
I'm sorry.
Does INIT perform the work for HART in regards to the Flamingo card?
What do you mean by that?
I'm not sure. I'm just trying to understand.
It's the system that tracks all the information. It's the computerized system so that we can do our billing and so that we can calculate the receivables. It's the hardware and the software that we purchased back when we first implemented Flamingo Fairs, and we did it with grants and other means.
Okay, so we will pay INIT for the rest of our lives, as long as we maintain Flamingo.
Well, the MOU is 5 years, I believe, Kathy, and as we stated, we've got 2 more years left on it. It's constantly negotiated, and yes, if we wanted to go with another company, we're locked in within it, but speaking personally, I've not encountered any problems with them from an accounting basis.
Okay. And thank you. The $2.4 million, is that how much we paid last year or?
The 2.4 is for the next 2 years. This
Okay.
year, it's 1.1 in the budget, and then the next year. And that's a little bit padded because we do have usage costs every month, which are not a lot of money. So just so that we didn't go over budget or have to come back to you, we just did it at 2,460. And that will get us through the end of the MOU with them.
Well, that's interesting. So when you ask for so you're asking for $1.14 million dollars?
Yes.
Per year.
And then 1.3, I'll let Ms. Kirk speak.
May I speak? Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. Okay, and to the committee, just to explain, Enid was the original contractor that installed our Flamingo Fair systems. Before I go any further, I do want to, he likes to stay in the background, but I'd like to introduce Emmanuel Nuez, if he could just stand up. He is the person in charge of our revenue collection and the Flamingo Fair systems. And then, just so you remember, Linda Crescentini, and she's back there. She helped with the implementation, and then she turned it over to finance. So those who have been on the board for a while know that we purchased the system through Enid. And on an annual basis, we do pay the maintenance fees as we're talking about today, understanding that we budget the entire amount. But as you see in the presentation, about 2/3 of it is reimbursed from PSTA. But we're under contract with Enid, so we pay the bill
Okay,
with the understanding that they're going to reimburse us. And that's what Laura does. She gets the money from PSTA every month. So I just want, I'm sorry, for the annual maintenance. So I just wanted to clarify. This is to give us authority to purchase, and also with the understanding that we will bill PSTA based on taps. Now, our goal certainly is for us to have more taps than we have right now, because we have an extensive outreach program to increase the use of Flamingo Fairs by HART. If it does increase, then the percentage that PSTA pays us will decrease. And that's our ultimate goal, because we want to use the system more
right.
for HART. But right now, they have a much higher usage rate, and that's what our marketing effort, that's what we're trying to get to be equal to PSTA in terms of usage of Flamingo Fair system.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. And we're going to go from 20% to 100% by January 2nd, based on or attempt to move the Flamingo number up significantly, because we're at 20% right now.
Yes, and if I can help with that, we will never be 100%.
Right.
Because we will always, by law, have to collect cash fares. So there will be people who will not use Flamingo Fair system and will be able to pay cash. We would never want to exclude anyone that doesn't have a Flamingo card and they just have cash. We can take their cash.
Okay, so we'll maintain that option?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, to that point, I was watching on the ride along the other day, I was watching the fair, the people coming in and out, and I don't remember what the numbers were specifically, but we had a lot of problems with the fare box. They took the cash okay, but with the magnetic strip, you'd have to beat on the box to make it work sometimes. But the Flamingo was just, they got right on, had their smartphone, and it worked very, very efficiently. So that's, January 2nd will make it a lot easier, I hope, to force the issue. To your point, I was going to bring this up, thank you, Ms. Kirk. That 2.4 is not all ours. We share that with the others. And if we ever hook back up with Pasco or what was the other?
Hernandez.
Hernando, that the usage will go up. Okay, but our share will go down, but we'll have more, it'll be better accepted all the way around. My question was, what's the total investment we have with this thing since the get-go?
13, 14, 15 million.
Yeah.
We talked about it every other year. Prior to this, we decided not to talk about it this year, but I think, Linda, is it around 13 million?
And to the chair, we can get you that number.
Yes.
Well, just for everybody, make sure everybody's on the same page. This has been
We know that it was a little over 10 million when we
Yeah.
first purchased it, and every year it's going to go up because we
Oh,
have
yeah.
investment in this
Oh, yeah.
contractor. Yeah.
But the development is done.
Yes.
We're good, and just now it's just getting it implemented and getting it functioning. Okay. I think that, Director King?
Ms. Kirk, just for knowing, ideally, where would we like to get the usage up to? 60, 70%, 95%?
At least.
95%?
I would say at least, what, 75%? Yeah. That would be wonderful,
Okay.
yeah.
There's some buses.
And you would project that to occur over what? Not by the end of this year? No, okay.
No.
I've been on bus
We
systems.
expect a
it's
big jump
100%. You
in
better have your
January.
card.
I'm sorry,
I've been on bus systems, you better have a card, because you're not getting on otherwise.
yes.
So it could be up to 100% someday, although it won't with cash fares.
Right.
Okay, any other questions? Appearing to be none. Can I have a motion to recommend to the HART Board of Directors approval of items 5B and advance it to the full HART Board Directors on September 23rd, regular meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Excuse me, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Very good presentation. Thank you. Final presentation will be from Ms. Melanie Williams on the dais, Director of Budgets and Grants, on the fiscal 2025 proposed operating budget, proposed capital budget, and five-year capital plan. Ms. Kirk, you're recognized to introduce the presentation, please.
Certainly. And we presented, this is really our fifth presentation on the budget, because we did a presentation on our service plan. We know we came to the board earlier this month, but we wanted to come back to the Finance Committee as the last presentation before our two public hearings in September. So we'll do a summary of the operating budget, and today we'll focus on the capital budget. And I'll just turn it over to Ms. Williams for her presentation.
Okay. Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. So on August 5th, I presented the fiscal year 2025 proposed operating and capital budget to the board. And today I will briefly summarize the operating budget and focus on the capital plan and capital budget and plan in detail. Okay, so this is the agenda for today's discussion. FY25 budget development calendar, FY25 proposed service, proposed operating budget, the five-year capital plan, the proposed FY25 capital budget in summary, and then the combined annual budget. This is the budget calendar. August 19th, which is today, I'm presenting to the Finance and Audit Committee to discuss the five-year capital plan and FY25 capital budget. And then on September 9th at 5:30, we have our first public hearing. The board adopts the tentative millage rate and tentative budget. The advertisement for this public hearing is included on the back of the property tax bill advertised by the property tax appraiser. And then on September 23rd at 5:30 p.m., this is our second and final public hearing, and this is for the board to adopt the final millage rate and final budget. The advertisement for this public hearing is advertised 2 to 5 days before the final hearing. This is the FY25 proposed service. A presentation was given last month by Mr. Rillis on the service in detail. For FY25, the proposed for all modes of service including the fixed route, the paratransit, the streetcar. For all the modes, the revenue miles is 9,085,452. The revenue hours is 721,227. And then the ridership for all modes is 14,360,847. This is the operating budget for revenues. Again, we always have to have a balanced budget. The total budget for operating revenues is $117,305,565. As we look here, the Avalon tax revenue is our primary source of revenue at $77,716,458, or at 66.25%. We have the federal operating grants at $20,710,168 at 17.65%. And then if you notice here, we do have the 1.5 still budgeted for advertising income. Until we know the outcome of the situation, we still have that included in the 1.5 for the advertisement. Leaving the total again for the operating revenues at $117,305,565. Again, we have to have a balanced budget, so the total operating for proposed 25 is $117,305,565. Looking here at the main operating expenses, we have the salaries and wages at the $57,407,953 at 48.94%. We have the fringe benefits at $12,772,123 at 10.89%, and the healthcare at $13,726,066 at a total personnel cost at almost $84 million at 72% of the budget. Leaving the operating expenses at $117,305,565. Before I get into the 5-year capital plan and capital budget, does anyone have any questions on the operating?
Appear to be none.
Okay. So this is the proposed 5-year capital plan, which totals $301,531,125. The first year of the plan is the FY25 budget, and that totals $71,046,221. The project categories included in the plan are vehicles and maintenance at a 5-year capital plan at $111,573,542. Then we have facilities and constructions at $147,982,991. Then we have technologies for 5 years capital plan at $12,738,597. Bus stops and shelters at $25,945,086. We have planning and studies at $1,050,000. Safety and security at $2,240,909. Leaving that 5-year capital plan again at $301,531,125. So the next several slides list the details of the capital plan. And the first included in here is vehicles and maintenance, totaling that $111,573,542. The projects included in the vehicle maintenance include the CNG buses. We see we have for the buses for 5 years budgeted at $73,684,095. First year for the capital budget for FY25, we have $13,174,400. Included in that $13.1 million, we budgeted 16 buses. Next, we have engine and transmission replacements, and that 5-year total is $4,986,690. And for FY25 for the engine and transmission replacement, we have $850,080. Next, we have paratransit flex vans replacement. For 5 years, we have planned $13,164,003. And then for the FY25 budget, we have $3,638,480. Next, we have the alignment machine system. We have that budgeted for FY25 at $138,081. Next, to maintain the state of good repair of our streetcar fleet, we have the streetcar parts at a 5-year plan at $380,000, with the first year of the FY25 budget at $100,000. Next, we have the non-revenue vehicles replacement admin. We do have that starting for the 5-year capital plan 5-year capital plan at $2,722,756. We're starting with that in FY 2026, at $829,363. So we have zero budgeted for FY '25. Next, we have the non-revenue vehicles and operations. We have that 5-year capital plan at $606,566. And that first year for the FY '25, we have budgeted $344,921. And that is to support our fixed route services and paratransit. Next, we have the fluid monitoring system. For FY '25, we budgeted $200,000. Next, we have the P25 radio system, and that is budgeted for a 5-year plan at $6,370,000, with the FY '25 budget at $6,085,000. And that for the P25 is a set of standards designed for public safety services, and that will be integrated, as mentioned before, with the CAD AVL system. Next, we have the basic transit infrastructure, BTI vehicle, and that's for bus stops and bus shelters, and that is budgeted for FY '26 at $50,001. Next, we have the 4-lift replacement, budgeted for FY '25 at $40,000. Zero emission bus pilot, which is electric buses, and that is in the capital plan, and for FY 2028 at $5,484,350. And then lastly, we have the streetcar rebuild, and that's in phase 2, and 5-year capital plan at $3,736,000. For FY '25, we have $747,200. And that rebuild for that capital plan is the 5 remaining streetcars that was originally built in 2000. And the rebuild will extend the service life of the cars by 20 years. So that leaves the total for the vehicle and maintenance totals again at $111,573,542, with the FY '25 being the FY '25 budget at $25,318,162. Does anyone have any questions on the vehicles and maintenance before I go to the next category?
Appear to be none.
Next, we have the 5-year capital plan for the facilities and construction, and that totals $147,982,991. And remember, the first year of the capital plan is the FY '25 budget at $24,132,991. Projects included in that category includes the heavy maintenance building, renovation and construction. And for 5 years, we budgeted $143 million. 5-year capital plan, $143,190,759. And for FY '25, that's $19,890,759. We have the University Area Transit Center break room renovation, and that totals for 5 years, or for the first 2 years, $350,000, with FY '25, $200,000, and FY '26 at $150,000. Next, we have the bus bay post lifts for the maintenance shop floor, and that's budgeted for the FY '25 budget at $50,000. We have the net park break room renovation. We have that budgeted or planned out for 5 years, or first 2 years, at $300,000. FY '25 budget at $150,000, and the FY '26 capital plan at $150,000. Then we have the unleaded fuel tank, FY '25 budgeted for $250,000. Operations Control Center renovation is budgeted for FY '25 at $1 million. Then we have 3 projects for the Marion Transit Center. First one for FY '25 budgeted for $140,000, and that's to upgrade the elevator. Then we have the Merritt Transit Center upgrade for the second floor, $634,640. And then just have a Merritt Transit Center upgrade for $1 million. And that is in FY '25 also. Then we have the replacement parts washer for the HM and PM building at $50,000, budgeted for the first year, FY '25. Then we have the seal coat and stripe parking lot for the transit center, budgeted for, or planned for $350,000, budgeted for $100,000 for FY '25, and then capital plan for FY '26 for $250,000. Then we have the seal coat and stripe parking lots, and that's for the park and ride locations, and that's budgeted for FY '25 at $337,592. HVAC replacement streetcar, $80,000 for FY '25. And then we have the south substation transformer replacement budgeted for FY '25 at $250,000, making the capital plan for the 5-year for facilities and constructions at $147,982,991, and the FY '25 budget of $24,132,991. Any questions on facilities and construction?
Appear to be none.
Okay, the 5-year capital plan for technology total is $12,738,597. First year of the capital plan is the capital budget for FY '25, $12,155,825. Projects included in this project category is the computer-aided dispatch automatic vehicle location system, the CAD AVL. We do have that budgeted for FY '25 at $10,100,000. We have the critical network infrastructure for the first year of FY 2025 at $202,103. We have the laptop replacements for 5-year capital plan at $570,000, with that first year FY '25 budget at $155,000. We have the audio-visual equipment upgrade at the 21st training room, budgeted for FY '25. My computer just died. Excuse me, my computer just died, so I could just finish, I think. I have it on here. I don't know what I was at, actually. I apologize. The computer just shut off. That's what I was looking at. Let me make this bigger. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think I left off at the audio-visual equipment upgrade for $200,000 for FY '25 budget. Then we have the enterprise asset management reconfiguration and modernization for $45,000 budgeted in FY '25. And this project would add a MOPI module for the route maintenance to track and update bus stops and shelters in real time. Next, we have the operations integrated yard mapping for $190,000 budgeted for FY '25. And this project would add the vehicles to the parking grid to locate the vehicles faster. Next, we have the electronic records management software for $200,000 budgeted for FY '25. Then we have the implementation of the HR, Human Resource Information System for $350,000 budgeted in FY '25. The procurement software for requisitions and contract management budgeted for $150,000 for FY '25. We have the Flamingo Fair System enhancement for $488,722, and that is also budgeted for FY '25. And then lastly, we have the wireless network infrastructure for the capital plan on the first 2 years at $242,772. FY '25 budgeted at $75,000, and for the capital plan for FY '26, $167,772. Totaling the total technology total for the five-year capital plan at $12,738,597, with the FY25 budget being the first year at $12,155,825. Any questions on technology?
I do. Yeah, we're looking at the proposal for about $7 million on the CAD and the AVL. Should we adjust that, maybe, for final presentation? Or is there something missing?
Well, our plan now is to use the surplus to put towards the radio upgrade. So the delta from the 10 million to the 7, the 3 would be applied to the new radio upgrade.
Okay.
That is costed roughly at about $5.5 million.
Okay, because we got a line item in the previous presentation of $6 million for that. So,
If I can help with that?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, we certainly budgeted 10 million. Understand that these are federal funds, so that is the money that's available. And as Mr. McCarthy mentioned, the CAD AVL and radio system is really a complete project, if you will. And so we have already talked about, as Mr. McCarthy mentioned, realigning the project and including the radio. But we didn't want to change this yet because this is the funding that's available in the federal grant program.
okay. Any other questions? Okay, then appearing to be none.
Okay. Okay. So other project categories in the five-year plan include the bus stop and shelters total. And that totals for the five-year plan, $25,945,086. We have the construction of the bus bay, landing, and shelter pads for a five-year capital plan at $8,177,099, with the FY25 budget at $1,420,051. Then we have shelters and amenities and bus stop improvements for the five-year capital plan at $10,278,112, with that FY25 budget at $5,478,112. Then we have the engineering and design for the shelters and the bus bay at a five-year capital plan at $2,489,875, with the FY25 budget at $489,875. Then we have the bus stop technology at a five-year capital plan at $5 million, with the FY25 budget at $1 million. Leaving the bus stop and shelters five-year capital plan at $25,945,086, FY25 budget $8,388,038. Next, we have the planning and studies category with the five-year capital plan at $1,050,000, with that first year being the FY25 budget at $450,000. We have the consultant support for the CAD AVL implementation budgeted at $300,000 for FY25, and then we have A&E contracts for a five-year plan at $750,000 and FY25 at $150,000. Next category is the safety and security total for the five-year capital plan at $2,240,909, with the FY25 budget at $601,205. We have the security and surveillance systems for the facilities at a five-year capital plan budgeted for first 2 years at $650,796. For the FY25 budget, we have $424,743, and then the FY26 capital plan is at $226,053. Then we have safety and security projects that we budgeted every year in the five-year capital plan, and that totals $1,590,113, with the FY25 budget at $176,462. Leaving that safety and security total for that five-year capital plan, again, at $2,240,909, and the FY25 budget at $601,205,000. So the five-year capital plan in total Again, it's $301,531,125, with that first year being the FY25 budget at $71,046,221. Okay, so this is a summary of the FY25 capital budget. And here you see that, again, is a balanced budget. We have our capital revenues, or our funding source, at $71,046,221. Looking here that we have the discretionary grants at $32,688,247. And just these are the grants that we do have to compete for. And if we don't get awarded, we don't receive the funds of the grants. Next, we have the capital reserves and the ad valorem transfers at $6,202,080. We have FDOT, of Florida Department of Transportation, we budgeted for $7,802,738,000. Community project funding at $3,700,000. Then we have the FTA, we have the formula grant at 5339 at $1,483,081. The State of Good Repair, the formula 5337 at $1,097,200. And then we have the 5307 at $18,072,875. They give us the capital revenues at $71,046,221. And then again, we have the capital projects and expenditures in the categories at $71,046,221 to balance that budget. So this is a combined for the FY proposed budget. We have our operating budget at $117,305,565. Then we have that capital budget at $71,046,221, with a total proposed FY25 budget of $188,351,786. And this concludes my presentation. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions or comments regarding the budget presentation? You want to go over the capital again? I'm only kidding. Okay, thank you. Very good, very good. Next item is the procurement monitoring. Ms. Ekafus, you are recognized to share updates on procurement monitoring reports.
Okay, the first report is the sole source report. There was one sole source procurement that's been added to the report for fiscal '24 since the August board report. That was to Conduit Transport Solutions, Inc., in the amount of $12,622. Conduit Support Solutions is the exclusive CAD AVL solution provider for fixed route and paratransit. Conduit is the only supplier for the Orb Guide mobile data terminals, the MDTs, fully compatible with our existing Conduit CAD AVL system. The Orb Guide MDTs are essential interface terminals that enable operators to communicate effectively with dispatchers in the Operations Control Center. The refurbished units will reduce hardware failures, leading to communication breakdowns. The fiscal year-to-date sole source procurements are $1,569,630. The next procurement report is on task orders. One general consultant services task order has been issued since the August board report. A task order was issued to WSP USA for support of HART's comprehensive operational analysis, the COA. WSP will work collaboratively with HART staff and others as required, providing analysis, developing recommendations, administering the stakeholder engagement process, and guiding a decision-making process to develop short and long-term improvements to the transit system. The COA project has 3 phases. Phase 1, goals and objectives, performance and market data analysis. Goal number 2, development of service change scenarios, and goal number 3, implementation plan for service changes. And that's the only task order that was issued since the August.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? I have one. The $12,000 item from that's the kind of nickels and dimes that'll go away with the new CAD system, correct?
That's
Thank you.
correct.
Okay. All right, cool. Any other questions or comments? Appearing to be none. Any old business? I do, if anybody else does. Ms. Kirk? Sorry. How are we on the, where do we stand on the audit items?
Okay. To the chair, as I mentioned at the board meeting, the open item was the dissolution of the 401A plan. And since that meeting, we have been aggressively with legal's assistance and HR and our outside consultant. I understand that I'm looking at our chief counsel out there, but I understand that we are planning to have it dissolved by the end of this month or early September. So we are on track because we cannot go into the new fiscal year with this as an outstanding item. But they have been feverishly working on it since the board meeting.
Yeah, because we're running out of time on that, so we'll be good with that? Okay, the other question then is the training issue. We're done with the training issue?
Yes, the training was completed June, at the board meeting I said July, but it was actually completed June 25th.
Good.
But that was the initial training, and we have ongoing training because, you know, people need training all the time.
Right.
And so we have ongoing training for
Well, thank you
staff.
to you and your staff for bird dogging these things, because we don't want another finding like that coming through the end of the year.
Thank you. And thank you to you for staying on me to get it done.
I don't want any more phone calls like that one. Any new business? Appearing to be none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Sorry for the lengthy meeting, but this is good stuff. Thank you.
We have, operations next?